Thanks.
You're so welcome. Man, I do have I just realized I got a nice little matte burn or something on my face. My face is jacked up. Good morning. Good morning.
Nailed it.
What's that?
I don't know.
Spot.
It worked.
That's weird. But now this one's too far away. I have to stretch. The ratio is wrong. Liz?
Unacceptable. I blame James for setting up the ammo that way.
Unacceptable.
I don't know if my coffee's gonna get hot. Oh, it's showing. It's happening. Just barely. Unfortunately, I had cold cream in there, so.
Good job.
Why is it crooked? What's going on?
Good. What's crooked? Because that's... Great, now I'm off. I'm off camera.
What do? Get in here. Move over. They can hear your voice, but they can't see you. It's okay, you can stand there, that's fine. What are we talking about today? God dang it.
Hey, it worked!
The stare.
I'm so happy with myself.
That was the stare of, I don't care what you say. You're gonna fix it. I feel like I gotta lean now. This is weird.
That's the way I put the camera up there every single day.
No, it's not.
Okay. Prove it.
There's a good chance you're right. because you try to put that thing in there, don't you?
Yeah.
The range?
Yes. Anyway, what are we talking about today, Elizabeth?
Well, since I'm the only one that ever comes up with things to part.
Your hair is driving me crazy.
Why? What's wrong with it?
It's just this right here is coming over your ear the wrong way, and it's like this little, I don't know, it's weird. Okay, thank you. Now you're trying to do a bad comb over.
There we go. Anyway.
Perfect. Oh boy.
Okay, now that.
Why do you guys put up with us? Why do you tune in to see this? See the shenanigans?
Shenanigans.
Good morning. Good morning. Do us the favors, because I can see there's a couple of you out there. Hi, Gordon. Put a comment down there.
Hi.
Say yo or hi or get lost or you guys are morons or something like that. We're trying to teach Facebook that we're okay again.
Mm-hmm. We're okay.
We're okay.
We're okay.
So we got a lot going on. Ritz, good morning. Jim, good morning.
Yes.
Good freaking morning, Jim.
Just say it the right way. We do have a lot going on.
We do have a lot going on. We have Customer Appreciation Day coming up this weekend. I really hope it's like 45 degrees outside.
I hate you.
And you and I are stuck in the dunk tank all day.
I will be frozen. I'll be an ice block, and you can just dunk the ice block.
It will be glorious.
Yes, it'll be fun. Elise told me this morning she's going to be out of town. She can't come, but she's sending her peoples to come up and dunk us.
That's awesome.
So there's many more things to do other than just dunk the trainers.
Oh yeah.
You can go challenge Vinny in the simulator and try to beat his time. That's a challenge.
Yes.
But it's hilarious. It's fun. And what else? There's going to be some classes happening. Just like some little short classes and stuff in the training rooms. We'll be going over tourniquet stuff. We'll have Rob Morton come in to talk about how to apply tourniquets. And this guy here is going to be talking about how to store your gun safely at home, talk about firearms in the home for defense. And I don't know the other... Oh, GOA. Yeah, GOA.
I almost said GOP. GOA?
That's next. GOA.
We need to have a GOA, a GOP.
We should have made GOP around the time that GOA is going to be here, so that way we can have Alex Shea and Jennifer go to breakfast with us. Oh my gosh. I saw Alex Shea post on his Facebook about he was doing karaoke, and he was getting after it. I am so excited to go watch it with the sound up. You were on the phone. I couldn't. He's the best. I gotta watch it.
Oh boy.
When we went to GOA, the conference a couple weeks ago in Knoxville, the range was on their intro of the video intro.
That they played for everybody before the show opened.
Yeah, before the show opened. So while everybody was filtering in, like they have a, I don't know, there's probably some real technical name for it in the video world, but this big commercial.
Yeah.
And the range was in there, and from our last customer appreciation day, and it was awesome. You see James up there in front of the rifles, and Alex and Jennifer outside, and actually me and my husband, it's just Nick, you can see him pointing to the back of his shirt because he's wearing a Abolish the ATF shirt, and so it was pretty cool to see us on there in front of the whole country. So it's a pretty cool place at Customer Appreciation Day. So definitely come hang out because we have a great time. It's a big party. So free lanes. There'll be vendors here and stuff. You can pick their brain about some new things coming up. Charles, what vendors are here? So the First Form's here. I know that.
Yeah, First Form will be here. SIG, Loophole, what? Proper.
And then KJ&A, which represents Hollow Sun, IWI.
Hollow Sun, IWI. So there'll be some vendors here to come up and pick their brain and learn about some new things that they got coming up, or ask questions, and I don't know, just meet people. Swag is always a thing at Customer Appreciation Day.
Lou, good morning.
Chris, it's Louis. You don't go by Lou.
What? Sometimes people like to have names on there that aren't their names, Elizabeth.
It's not that far off. Okay, I messed it up. Anyway, hi Kelsey.
Hi Kelsey. Good morning.
I don't even know what I was talking about.
Nobody does.
It's okay.
You were just rambling. Your mouth was doing one thing and words were coming out. Your brain was going somewhere else and words weren't coming out. And then you got turned around.
It's valid.
And next thing you know, you're talking this way. Dorian, good morning. What time? It starts at 9 o'clock.
Hi, Paul.
Vincent Leone, good morning, sir. We got all the peoples. Thank you for commenting. If you're watching and you haven't commented yet, hit the buttons and say yo. Or
are we gonna have cotton candy, Charles?
I'm sorry, what?
Are we gonna have cotton candy?
Yes, we do have cotton candy.
I love cotton candy. We'll have cotton candy at the.
That makes it worth it right there. Cotton candy. It's going to be a great time. So it goes all day, 9 to 5 that day. We're open till 6 on Saturdays, but we do have to shut down the party so that we can get cleaned up and get out of here. I actually have my 30th high school reunion that night. So I'm going straight from here after being in the dunk tank and getting sunburned all day to my 30th high school reunion.
That's
which is
awesome.
Freaking crazy to me.
I have my 20th coming up. I don't know if I'm going to go yet.
I have not been to one. This will be the first one I go to.
I haven't either.
Assuming I actually go.
Yep. My aunt said that's our Lizzie.
Yep. We learned this pretty quickly.
Yeah, it doesn't take long.
Yeah.
Yes, Kelsey, you're going to come. That makes me so happy. Come early. Because the swag and stuff only lasts for so long.
Yeah.
So come early. And yeah.
And
Next.
then GOP.
GOP. What's that stand for?
Gross, optimal,
No. Oh, yeah.
packaging.
What?
Gravy over pancakes. Gravy over pancakes. Yes, Anthony, this is the face that she despises because she sees it all the time when she makes her, again, when her mouth moves and her brain goes a different direction. Okay.
Okay.
Good job.
It's a smile and nod.
And so you got look at the other side. So it's got my face, and then good job.
Good job. Gravy over potatoes.
No,
That's delicious too.
it is. Yeah.
Oh, so you can have a
But
plate
this
of
is
pancakes
breakfast.
next to hash browns, and then you just slop gravy all over it.
Yum. So there's a whole backstory to gravy over pancakes, and if it was going to be disgusting or not disgusting, and it started off as kind of a derogatory thing from one of our employees and his family, and then it turned into, well, that actually is, let's go try
Pretty
it.
tasty.
And it's delicious. So we do a thing, if you're unfamiliar, every so often, once a quarter or so, which I wish we kind of did it more often, but we just say, we're going to breakfast at Uncle Bill's, and on Manchester Road, and this is on the 26th?
Yep.
On the 26th at
8 a.m.
8 a.m. Anybody can show up. If you want to come out and hang out with us and just, you don't have to have gravy over pancakes. It is funny though, we all sit down.
You gotta.
And we all sit down and the first person will go, I'll have a stack of pancakes and a side of gravy. And the lady will go, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
She's got to go and tell them to start making extra sausage gravy.
You're the gravy people.
Yeah. So, yeah, it is pretty delicious. The buckwheat
It is.
pancakes down
Oh,
there
gosh.
are yummy.
I'm gonna load up.
Breakfast is one of my favorites, and
That's the reason why we can't do it very much. 'cause
I know. Oh,
it's
man.
It's heavy.
it is, especially if you
The
do
rest of
gravy
the
over
day.
pancakes. It's,
That's why I always schedule them on my day off.
man, it's rough. But it's fantastic. It's a good time. You just get to come out and hang out with. I mean, we're fun to hang out with.
Heck yeah.
Right? I mean, right?
I mean, it just depends on the day.
Okay. All right. So if you guys want to, 26th, 8 o'clock, Uncle Bill's on Manchester. Just come in and look for the gaggle of people in shirts like this, and come hang out with us.
Yes, Dorian, you can ask a question about ammo.
We can do prices and stuff now. Well, supposedly.
Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll go for
But
it.
yeah, if you've got a question, ask it. If we can answer it, we will. So
okay.
customer appreciation
The 14th. That's
this Saturday.
it's crazy.
And then the 26th, so a couple weeks later on a Thursday morning, 8 o'clock, Uncle Bill's on Manchester. There's an event. It's tagged at the top, so if you want to click on it to keep up to date with it, do it. Please come hang out with us.
Absolutely.
You know,
Okay.
sometimes it's just us. Sometimes it's just the employees here. Sometimes we get a couple of people, 2 or 3. Sometimes we have 8 or 10. You know, it just depends on the day and who's got what.
One of the
going on.
ladies from Lady Sentinel's going.
Yeah, I bet you, just because that community's pretty tight, I bet we'll get a couple ladies from
Yeah,
Lady Sentinel.
I think so
to
too.
come
I hope so.
out.
He asked if MagTech's good or bad ammo. It's good.
Yeah,
I mean, it's good.
There's nothing wrong with MagTech at all.
Training ammo.
Here's the thing, right? If you have something like that's training ammo, outside of it causing a mechanical problem with your gun all the time, there's nothing wrong with it. Even if you have failures to fire every once in a while, or it causes some random thing every once in a while, that's okay. You get to fix malfunctions too.
Yeah. I rarely get malfunctions with factory ammo. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what it is. I lied. Winchester white box.
Yes.
I despise Winchester white box. Now, I have not really shot much of their 223, 5.56, but their handgun white box ammo, I'm not a fan of. So I'll still buy it if it's the only thing there. But if I have an option, I will choose something else. And when it comes to being dirty and stuff, I don't know. Like I don't.
It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother me either. But
Yeah.
I guess it's just like you have to clean your gun more. But
That doesn't bother me. I have a Vinny.
right, we have a Vinny.
Yes.
Vinny, you're so awesome. And then he
Winchester
yells
white
at me.
box. We had a security company that bought a bunch of that stuff for their guards to do
Oh,
training.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we had a ton of, we were getting a lot of malfunctions with it. So we started paying attention a little bit more. And they had, I think they were 100 round boxes. You would have 5 or 6 or 8 where the primer was off center.
Yeah.
And so that hit, click, no bang. That's a high percentage.
Yep.
Right? If I got a malfunction every 4, 5, 600 rounds, I don't care. But you have 5 or 6 in a 100 round box, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And that starts to get a little frustrating. That becomes, especially when you're in a training environment, it starts to become detrimental mentally.
Mm-hmm.
You you start forgetting about what the task is you're supposed to be doing, and just like, is this stupid ammo going to go off? So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, Vincent, we are.
Now, when so we can use this as an opportunity to kind of roll right into the topic today is considerations with owning a defensive firearm. So probably mostly handguns, but I don't know that any of our things necessarily lend it. Dang it, I left my list. I'll have to go grab it in a second.
Okay.
But one of the things that
Want me to go grab it while you're talking? Because we know you won't stop talking.
Sure.
Is it sitting on your desk?
I don't know. It's just a little notebook.
Okay. You don't know where it is, I'll try to find it.
So one of the things that you have to consider with a defensive tool is the ammunition that you're going to put in a gun for self-defense. We're talking about training ammo right now, and I'm not as concerned with buying training ammo and its reliability to an extent. I think most of the time factory ammunition is pretty reliable, given with our issues with white box. But MagTech and CCI and all that stuff, I really don't have any issues, and I'll just buy whatever's out there and cheapest, and it just depends on what I'm doing. So when it comes to hollow points, though, my defensive ammo, I do go down the rabbit hole on this a little bit. So I just recently switched to a different type of ammo, hollow points, to test it out and to see how it works in my gun. And it cycles well, which whenever you choose a hollow point for your gun, your defensive ammo, you should run at least a full magazine through your gun. Oh, welcome back.
It was like a magic trick.
That was pretty cool.
I found it, but it wasn't on your desk. I was going to give up, and then
That's why I said I didn't know where it was.
I came across it.
So you need to run at least a full magazine through your gun at a rapid pace to make sure that your hollow points cycle reliably in your gun. If you carry them on you reliably, the temperature changes fluctuate as well, so you need to make sure that you're keeping fresh ammunition in your gun. So recently I had switched to a different brand of ammunition. I was carrying the Winchester, I forget what they're called now, the Ranger T's, I guess. It's the, I wish I had the box in front of me. I can grab it in a second. But I really like their, I'm going down a rabbit hole. So I went to this new ammunition. I'm not even going to bring up the name of it because I think it was a bad lot. And hopefully they'll investigate this. I have a hard time not bringing it up there. The type, because it's, screw it. I'm going to say it anyway.
I'll say it.
It's SIG. So I recently bought some SIG hollow points and to run through my macro. So shoots well through the gun, but what I've been finding is that when I go to chamber a round, which I unload my gun and I load it quite often, so I do need to keep extra, I need to pay extra attention to that first round as it goes into my gun. Every time I chamber it, you have to pay attention to if the bullet gets pushed down into the casing a little bit at a time. So as it's going into the chamber, it's riding up your feed ramp, and it can push, over time, it'll start to push the bullet in. So if you occasionally compare your chambered round, your top round that you continuously chamber, to the next one down, you'll notice there's a difference. I mean, you probably can't even see it here on the...
Don't continuously chamber the same round.
Yeah, because it'll start to push in the bullet. It usually takes quite a few times for that to really start to cause issues. And what I was finding with the SIG ammo, that it was happening after one time of being chambered, and that's not acceptable to me.
That's not.
And it was quite substantial how much it was pushing it in. So I wasn't okay with that, so I got the lot number and everything, and I got in contact with the person I need to, got them that information, and we'll see what happens. But I haven't heard anything back, and I'm not looking for, I don't care if they replace it. That's not the point. I just want it to be, if the lot was bad, I want them to take responsibility for it and pull it out, and or at least make mention of it, or
People are aware. Yeah.
So people are aware, because maybe I'm not a reloader, so I don't know if there's a glue or some sort of adhesive that keeps the bullet where it's at, or the crimp or something. I think I think Jake was mentioning the crimp could be not ideal. So that's not great. So keep an eye on your bullets and make sure that they're not getting pushed in too far, and because what that does is it increases the pressure inside the casing. Now, I think most modern handguns would be safe in handling the excess pressures from that.
To a point.
Yeah. But you need to keep an eye on it and don't let it get too far. So, anyway, one thing their consideration is ammo. Get good hollow points. Do your research. Find a hollow point that works well in your gun. Test fire it through your gun. And then keep an eye on your chambered round to make sure that you're not getting that bullet pushed in too far over time.
So what I always recommend that people do, especially if you have a gun that you carry every day and you like to shoot, right, which you should, so you get comfortable with it, you're going to be chambering, loading, and unloading your gun a lot. At least that's the hope. You should take your ammo out of, and I know loading magazine sucks, but you should take your ammo out of your mag, just kind of jumble them up, restuff them. That way you don't have the same 1 or 2 rounds that are continuously getting pushed in the chamber. And then every so often, every 6 months, once a year, take all the ammo out of the mag, stand it up on a table, lay a ruler across the top. If there's one that's lower than everything else, just bloop, flip, just get it out of there.
I'm gonna try to find the picture so I can, just so you guys can see the difference. Because, a teeny tiny bit, it's okay. Like the ones I just showed you actually had a teeny tiny bit of difference. What is that, like a millimeter or something? But much more than that, then you got to really start to consider it. So,
Mr. Workman, good morning.
I don't know if I can search.
What if your thought process is if the sky starts falling, the training ammo become defensive ammo? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, if the world's coming to an end and you need to throw hot lead, you got to throw hot lead, right?
You do.
But you have a lot of other problems to worry about other than if you have a 1 in 500 problem with the round. So something like MagTech, I would have no problem with that being an end of the world, trying to prolong my life, extra ammo to have laying around.
So it still might be difficult to see, but you can see the
I
clear.
think that's pretty apparent. And that's after being chambered one time.
So
that's a big difference.
You'll see that after a lot of times of chambering the round. So that wasn't I wasn't very excited about that. So just things to pay attention to. I know exactly what you mean. I had it happen with my 1911. Checking hollow point sunk in the casing and caused the gun to fail. So keep an eye on that stuff. It's just like checking your gear and things like that. Is keep an eye on what you do. This is a tool of, for one, great consequence. For two, it's if you need this, you need it, and you need it to work well. So keep an eye on that stuff, your ammo, your gear, and make sure that you're constantly aware of the condition of your gun, the condition of your gear, and the condition of your brain. So next is gear. What kind of things do you need to have a gun defensively? Well, it depends on what your goals are. If you're going to conceal carry, then you need a holster, and your holster is
unequivocally
yes.
That's an absolute.
And that's not always considered, because a lot of people want to carry a gun in their pocket, or they'll just put it in their pants. I had a student in class not about a year ago or so, but she said that one of the reasons why she was there, she overcame her fear because she was in front of a situation before. Her brother had a gun in his pants and was holding his infant child, and something shifted and the gun went off. She said that the safety failed and the gun fired. We had to have a conversation right there, and we had to put the responsibility on her brother. Everybody was fine, nobody got hurt, but when a gun fires unexpectedly, that's obviously cause for concern. So if the gun is not in a safe condition and it's in your pants and something can pull the trigger, that's bad. So guns need to be in a holster. They need to be in a good holster, because a bad holster could be just as dangerous, if not more dangerous, than no holster. If you have a holster that is a floppy mess and you're expecting it to keep your gun secure and safe, and then next thing you know, it falls out on the ground, and who knows, you go to grab it quickly or something. It's just, you need to make sure that your holsters are capable of protecting the trigger. We like to say get a holster that stays open when the gun's not in it. Typically those are made out of Kydex, which is a hard plastic that's molded to the gun, which retains the gun. I would start jiggling on my gun, but it's loaded right now, and even though I trust the retention of my gun, I don't want to mess around with that right now.
Yeah.
So, but and I've done this before in lots of classes, but I'll just grab onto my grip and shake it up and down. I'll jump, and I'm like, the gun doesn't come out. I trust it, the retention on it. And imagine you're in a fight and you're trying to defend your life and you get knocked on the ground. You don't want your gun falling out of its holster, and for just the sheer ability to get to it yourself, but you also don't want the bad guy to be able to get to it or even see it. So good gear matters, and your ability to get your gun out in an acceptable amount of time is also really important. If you got your gun in a ankle holster or a bra holster or small of your back or something that's in an odd position, you are sacrificing time and ability to get to it. We were watching a video in Vinny's advanced CCW class the other day, and this guy got shoved up against the wall and stuff, and if he had his gun in any other place other than appendix, he wouldn't have been able to get to it. And it's considerations for your gear, and then simplicity model, good gear matters. It does, and it's not cheap.
Yeah, and so that's where I wanted to go when you mentioned that, because we get a lot of people that'll be, hey, I want to get this gun, I want to get some ammo, and yada yada yada. Okay, what are you using it for? Well, I'm gonna carry it or for home defense, whatever it is. Okay, well, if you're gonna carry, you need a holster. Okay, in their mind immediately they think $10.
Oh yeah.
Right, and then we go look at a holster that's $50, $60, $80,
or almost $200.
Yeah, for like an Enigma. Mm-hmm. People are like, whoa, wait, what? This holster is $60? Yes, it is carrying a loaded firearm in very close proximity to your body, and you carry that for defensive purposes. You need it to be quality. If you don't have the extra money to spend on it right now, fine, no problem. Know that you need to save up for it. Mm-hmm. Know that you need to be able to afford that.
And prioritize it.
Yes.
Because this is one of the gear things. Shooting a gun is very much about the Indian, not the arrow. But there's also certain aspects of the gear for safety. And the holster is a safety. It's literally a level of safety.
Yeah.
Just because, if you have a manual safety on your gun, that doesn't make the gun safe. And it is a little bit extra of a thing for when you're holstering, but that's also an extra thing that you have to use a fine motor skill to turn off. So having a good holster definitely makes me more comfortable knowing that I have a gun in my holster that doesn't have a safety on it, because my holster is the safety. My application,
a manual safety
has passive safeties, but my hand and my ability to get it out safely is also a level of safety as well. So you can also have a good gear and then totally screw up your draw and do something unsafe if you're putting your finger on the trigger as soon as it comes out or something like that. So it's not just the gear that's going to make you safe in that regard. It's also your training and your application of using it as well.
Lou says easiest part of the process to muck up is the draw. Oh, absolutely. And so here's a big benefit of quality gear, right? Is that my holster is going to stay here. It's going to stay here. When you have suboptimal holster, we'll just use that, suboptimal holster that is going to move around on you, the gun could start to tilt one way or the other, the whole thing might just fall off you. This is a pain in the butt to take off my belt. I mean, I got to work at it to get it off my belt. That's good, right? That's a good thing. If you have something that is cheap and garbage and just a slightest little bit of getting thrown around, knocked around, your gun can fall out or the whole holster can come off, that's bad. And then it makes getting to the gun, being able to build good repetition of getting to the gun, it makes that very, very difficult because it's always in a different freaking spot.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. Off I go to get an Uncle Mike's nylon with a snap strap.
There it is.
Good job.
You got a good job.
That's bad advice.
You got a good job.
From the guy who writes holster reviews professionally.
It's a true story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Michelle, good morning.
Good morning, Michelle.
What?
Oh, sorry. Got lightheaded for a second.
Okay?
Yeah, you're good.
All right. what am I supposed to be talking about next? I don't know where we are on the list.
Well, we talked about the gun, talked about gear, a safe. Okay, so safe storage of your gun.
There you go. Now you're back on camera. Good job.
So that's also a consideration that it's not really thought about, is how do you store your gun? Well, if you live at home and of course you live at home. I can't tell you how many times I've said that, and
If you live at home.
I've never,
Yes.
anyway.
You do. You always live at home.
Yeah, home is what you make it, right? Is that the same? Anyway, you live at home and you need, let's say you have no other people in your house and you don't have to keep it locked up from kids or anything like that. You can totally just throw that thing on your dresser, completely loaded if you want to, and that's fine. You can totally do that.
Yeah.
The sacrifices that you're making there is, for one, if it's out and visible like that, if someone does get into your house, there's no security of your firearm then, and someone stealing your gun sucks, so definitely don't want that. If your gun is loaded and it's not in a holster and it's just sitting there like that, that makes me so anxious.
Yeah.
So my gun, this is my situation. I keep a small pistol safe right next to the side of my bed, and it's just got 3 buttons on the top that I can quickly press to get the gun out safely. There's nothing else in there except for my gun. I don't put keys or anything, or coins or special things or any other things that I want to keep safe. It's only my gun. There's no magazine, there's no flashlight, there's no nothing.
There is a magazine in the gun.
There's a magazine in the gun, and there's a round in the chamber.
Yeah.
The gun is fully loaded to where all I have to do is pull it out of its holster and it would be ready to go. Now, I keep my gun in a holster that has had the hardware taken off of it, so it's just essentially a sleeve that I put my gun into to protect the trigger. So if I wake up in the middle of the night and I am frantically reaching for my gun, I don't have to worry about accidentally pressing the trigger. This is one of the benefits to having a manual safety on your gun and something like that. But just know the sacrifice you're making there.
See, I don't do that.
Yeah, and that's
we've had this discussion
Sure.
before. That's a choice that I've heard a few people doing that before, but not in the quick access safe. You got your big safe where you put the majority of your stuff and everything's getting packed together. So you buy that Uncle Mike's holster for $8 and you can slide gun A into this one and put the next one right next to it and all that. In my quick access safe, my gun goes in there,
Yeah.
but no holster, no nothing.
Do you have it and I have a couple early warning systems as well. I have an alarm system and also a German Shepherd. So I do have some early warning systems to allow me to get a little bit extra time. If someone gains entry into my house, my alarm's going to start going off. That's my thoughts. And I haven't been able to get past that I've grabbed my gun out in the middle of the night when my alarm was going off. I remember that feeling of panic and grabbing my gun when it's dark and not really having an understanding of its direction, which is part of the point. If you don't want to keep it in a holster like that, practice getting it out. Know the direction that it's aimed, so that way if you need to reach over and grab it, you're keeping your trigger finger straight, you're grabbing it, it's in a safe direction, you're not flagging anything, because you're under a lot of adrenaline probably if someone's kicking in your door or something else is chaos like that. So just things to be mindful of, and your decisions are your own. It's just know what you're getting into so you can make a decision that's right for you.
Dorian says, if you have an external safety, you have to train for that. Absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
So what I'll tell people, I don't prefer to have a manual safety on a defensive handgun. If you do, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. I am much more strongly opinionated, though, on the fact that if your gun has a manual safety, you have to be able to operate it with just your strong hand thumb only.
Yeah.
So if you've grabbed a hold of the gun and it takes your other hand for you to stick your thumbnail in there to turn the gun on or off, not as big a deal, but to turn the gun on, that's terrible. It's not a great defensive handgun. It might be an okay handgun, but it's not a great defensive handgun, in my opinion.
You're saying turn the gun off, which is turning the safety off, or turn the gun
on,
on,
turning
safety,
the safety
off. That
off.
one always messes with my brain when you say that.
Really?
Yes.
That's why I say it that way.
I know, and it's
Because you
just
want to turn the gun on.
Yeah.
Right?
I went through with a student the other day about, okay, which way is the safety on or off, and does that mean the gun will fire or not fire? It's a back and forth. So whichever way, it's just that's the way my brain's returning. If I turn the safety on, the gun will not fire. And you just articulate it the opposite way.
Yeah, say turn the gun on.
And both ways.
I actually
resonate
will
with different
usually
people.
when I'm talking about it, I will actually say turn the gun on, which means you turn the safety off.
Yeah.
Right? I also much prefer that the safety works like a gas pedal, because I'll then articulate it that way. Think about your safety like a gas pedal. When you push it down, you get all the gas. Right?
I like that, yeah.
If you don't hold it down, because I feel like you need to have that thumb sitting on top of it. If you don't hold it down, you don't get any gas, right?
Yeah.
So hold that safety down to shoot the gun. Now, go ahead.
The easy almost makes that impossible.
You can't.
You can.
So
And you'll kick your safety on
I
on
started to
accident.
talk about this earlier when you didn't want to mention SIG. Like I don't care. If there's something I don't like, I'm going to tell you I don't like it.
Yeah.
And it's hard sometimes. Like we sell SIG ammo here. We sell EZs here. There's other guns that we have here that I don't like. The EZ though is one I will flat tell somebody don't buy it.
Don't, yeah.
Like I don't like it that much. Now, do we have students that own them and love them?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have a
we
couple.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only had two.
The vast majority, no.
Yeah.
So it's I don't care if Smith came in here today, Mr. Smith, standing right here, and gave me an EZ and said, just give it its time, try it, and all that, and then let us know. I would shoot it.
I think
and
I
I
know.
would tell him that it's garbage.
It sucks. I think I know where my apprehension came from. The reps.
Yeah.
Now, I think one of my apprehensions with that is that I'm in the process of working that out with
Yeah.
SIG. So
And we're not.
people
she's
make
not throwing
mistakes.
them under
Yeah.
the bus because
Stuff happens.
Yeah, that sort of stuff happens.
And if they fix it, awesome.
Great.
That's stuff happens. It's your ability to overcome that. That's
Absolutely.
where true character comes in. I hope that. I mean, and who knows? Maybe I'll never hear anything about it. But I'm gonna buy another box of SIG ammo and see what happens. And maybe if it's a lot issue or not, if it's the same, then I'm going to choose not to carry SIG ammo. And people ask me quite often what ammo they should purchase, and I won't have a problem saying then, after the trials and tribulations, that I don't prefer this ammo. It did not work well for me. So that's the way that it is. Okay, so we talked about a safe, we talked about gun, gear, and then do you know some things? So there's some things that you need to know intellectually, some education, and whether you...
Just so you know, we're starting to run short on time.
Whether you learn on your own, you're a self-teacher, and you go down the path of teaching yourself via books or YouTube or online classes, whatever. Maybe you're learning about law. Maybe you're learning about psychology or something. So you can be a self-learner. It's going to probably take you longer to get there rather than coming to a professional to help you teach you the things that you don't know. So that's something as well. So what are the things that you need to know? The law. You have to know the law.
Oh,
and
how many times do we have people that are sure they know the law, and then they say something, you're like, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I mean, I just had a phone call last week from somebody that needs to get a court-ordered safety training, and those are not uncommon because someone misuses their firearm. They get a whatever charge. I don't know. It just depends on the county, I think. But then the court will mandate you come and take a safety class, and I don't even know what happens after that. Like maybe that drops the charges. I'm sure it's all situational,
Yeah, it's
but
a conditional thing.
so every day.
Every day.
So come in and learn about the law because it's so freaking important. Do you know it? What can you defend with a gun? Ask yourself that question. Think about things in your life and answer your own question. What can I defend with a gun? Yourself. You can defend your life with a gun. Okay. Now there's complexities within that, right? It's not just I'm defending.
Well, I'm here, so I'm defending myself.
Yeah.
No.
Yep. And you can't defend your future life either. So there's
Yeah,
a
well,
lot
he
of
said he was going to kill me next Tuesday at 3 o'clock.
Yep. Or he stole this and now he has my personal info to come back, or he's got my house keys, so now he's going to come back later. You can't. We're going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
We're talking about the things that you need to know and why the education is important. What else can you defend? Can you defend your car? Can you defend your garage? Can you defend your car in the garage? Can you defend someone in your garage? Can you defend your neighbor? Can you defend your kid? Can you defend your unborn child? Can you defend your pets? Do you know the answer to all those? If you don't, that is a very good reason to come in and learn. Do you know where you can go with your gun? Do you know if you can walk past that sign? Do you know what happens if you walk past that sign and you didn't see it? What about hospitals? Can you go to the Cardinals game? Can you go on the Metrolink? Can you go on the bus? Can you go into a church? What happens if you get caught in a school zone? The list goes on and on and on and on. And to have an understanding of even where to start is massive, because ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Yeah. When you start to have an understanding of what questions to ask yourself and where to try to find those answers, and some of the answers aren't always so plainly visible.
Yeah.
Right. So first off, I want to back up about 4 minutes.
Okay.
She's not a lawyer.
No, I'm not a lawyer.
I'm not a lawyer.
Not even close.
Nope. If you are, you can say amen to reading law sucks, right?
Yes.
Or if you've ever, been involved in a real estate transaction and you're trying to read the laws about how these things, it sucks. Reading law is very, very complicated, and it can seem that way. When you start to understand the language a little bit more, it becomes more clear, obviously, but it is something you have to go through the pain of reading. If you're going to, again, just my opinion, if you're going to go through the process of carrying a gun for self-defense, you need to read the law. You need to have an understanding. You need to understand the definitions. When they use the word
Deadly force,
or the word
dwelling, residence.
What does that mean? Because you might think that it means something, but the law might define it as something totally different. And it's painful. And I tell people that all the time in classes. Like, it sucks. Here's your reading list, right? And it's a bunch of papers. It sucks, but it's way worth it.
And so if you're self-teaching and if you go to read the law, it's tough. If you come and see if you learn from a professional their big picture articulation of the law, and then when you go back and read it, you have things to connect it to, and those words aren't so foreign to you, and the verbiage isn't so foreign, and it's tricky. It's very tricky. I learn something new every single time. We talk about law in classes where students ask questions. I'm like, you know what? Let me research that. I'll look at it on lunch break. We'll come back and talk about it. Squatters or property managers, like someone having a key walking into your, like, there's so many questions, and I love it. It's so exciting. It's so much. We had a really good conversation in class in the advanced CCW class yesterday. There was a video of this guy. This two ladies and this guy get into a conflict in a grocery store or something, and they're like shoving and stuff like that. And then the guy walks out, and the lady's just kind of standing there waiting for him to come out. And then she follows him as he's walking out, and he just turns around and wallops her. And he's big, muscular guy, and she's just some. Just the average lady. And one of the students was like, she shouldn't have been following him, and he's got reason to believe that she was a threat to him and everything like that. And we had a really good conversations. We talked about disparity of force. We talked about, just someone being in your space you can't just assault me because I'm here talking to you. And there's so many things within that we want to, that's not right. And I'm like, you're right. It's not right for her to follow him out. But that doesn't give him justification for using that amount of force.
Yeah.
And let's just say he did, and she was able to start defending herself. She was the aggressor. So it's like, ugh. And it's like, both people can be wrong and right at the same time. And where you're placed in that encounter, you have to know it. And the more that you know ahead of time, the better you'll be prepared, mentally prepared in a moment if you ever encountered one.
So many people are so self-absorbed. They are right, and they're trying to prove that they're right, that you're making yourself wrong, right? Like if Liz, if we didn't know each other and she was yelling at me because I had the wrong color shoes on or something, and she didn't like the fact that I was wearing black shoes when it's a blue shoes Tuesday, and she's yelling at me, and you're an idiot, and you're a moron, and she's following me through the store or whatever, and I just turn around and punch her, I'm wrong too, right? If anybody else watched that, you looked at me, and the size difference, the disparity of force there is.
I mean, look, here, face me. And I'm like, just like getting in your face and like, look at all this body language. Like, I'm mad and get off me. And you're just supposed to take that. Like, ladies, we have to be in control of our words and stuff too. Like, you can't, and it doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl. If you're up in someone's face like that, you're gonna get punched. You're gonna initiate violence. Let it go and walk away. And
now, I kind of want to go down the we don't have the time, but like, should I to shut you up? Okay, maybe. To what level?
Yeah.
Like knock your teeth out, break your freaking orbital bone.
Yeah. You can only.
What does that look like? Now, you know, we've talked about this before. Educational beatdowns; those are a legitimate thing, especially growing up when you think you can run your mouth for something and somebody punches you in that mouth, and you're like, man, maybe I shouldn't flap my gum so much. There's some value there, but there's also a legal responsibility as well. So
that's what's turned us into a civilized culture. Is
while I may not like her all up in my face and pushing on me, just because she's pushing on me, did she assault me? Sure. Can I knock her the heck out? No. Right? No, it's not going to be considered reasonable. It's not going to be a reasonable action. Now, if I'm just trying to keep distance, like, lady, just quit touching me and stay away from me. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
She put hands on me, I put hands on her. But if she shoves me and I just take a step back, and that's.
Oh, she flew back, and like she could have died in that moment, like because she fell back up against the wall. Yeah, it was pretty excessive, and like I said, I'm not saying that she did anything right. She was a terrible person in this situation. She was the one that escalated everything, and but his response was also bad. So it was a good conversation. I think we came out on top of it, but that's the point of taking classes and having these conversations in an environment where you can say, I would have knocked her ass out, like you can say that in class.
You're totally free to say that stuff.
And
Absolutely.
we get to talk about it. And what better way to have those conversations in a training environment where you're safe to say those things and we can talk about it and learn from it versus you just apply it out in the real world and then you're in jail.
And what I like about that too is you get in those types of classes, in this case the advanced CCW, we get to have those conversations. It's not just you and me, so you're just hearing my opinion. You get to have a conversation, a group conversation with other people. Well, I think about it this way. And I think about, what if this happened because I'm in a wheelchair? Or what if this happened and it's my grandma who's using a walker? You know what? Whatever the case is, everybody has different angles that they're looking through these different lenses with. And it's great to hear that. And I really, really like it when you get somebody that is like, no, this she was wrong and he was right. But then after a discussion, they're like, I guess they're both wrong.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that stuff. Now, you definitely have hard-headed people that are like, no, they touched my car, so I'm going to grab my baseball bat and hit them in the head.
And those are the type of people that go to jail for excessive force.
Yeah.
And it's if you can't even open your mind in a training environment to understand the realness of it, then you're not going to do it out in the real world.
Sorry, it just made me think of how many times, I know you've had people like this, I've had people like this, that it's like, you come in and you're paying me $90 an hour for a private lesson, and you argue with me on everything I say.
Yeah.
Well, what about this? Well, I would do this. No, that's not right. I would just do it this way.
Right.
Okay. Well, what about this? Should I do this? No, you should try this. No, I'm not going to do that. Okay.
Okay. I'm here for you.
All right. We're past our time. We got to roll. We got a meeting in a few minutes. good conversations. I like it.
Heck yeah.
And we missed a bunch of comments on here, but
My aunt said she worked at law firms for over 30 years, and the law is still very confusing to her. And yeah, it's never ending. Lou says that the law changes frequently too. New case law dictates actions.
yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So even though that your CCW never in Missouri, you don't have to retake your course in order to renew your certificate. Do it, especially if you can get into a class here. 48 hours ahead of the class actually happening. If there's an empty spot and you've already taken it here before and you paid for the class and everything, reach out. Ask us if you can jump into another one to get a refresher. You can do that. We also have CCW Law Review, which is a shorter version that doesn't go into the basic pistol nature. We just do a refresher on the use of force, the law, where you can and cannot go, things like that. I taught that one last week, and it was awesome. I loved it. It was so interesting. Great conversation. So that's it.
Whoa. We're done.
Okay.
Something new coming. Probably going to go on the website today, but we're going to have some hand-to-hand classes that we're going to start doing here every so often, kind of see how this goes with
MSDS.
MSDS. It's Metropolitan Sewer District. I always modern self-defense solutions.
Yep.
With Tim and Jessica. So we had them here for a class with Lady Sentinel over the weekend, and we're gonna do some stuff with them occasionally, again once a month or so, I think. So check that out, especially if you want to learn how to strike. That should go live on the website today.
It's co-ed. It's not just women.
Yep. Yeah. The one we did this weekend was a women's only thing, but yeah, it'll be a co-ed class. You get to throw some punches. Maybe punch me in the face. One of the students punched me in the face on Saturday, and when you're watching this, thanks.
We always joke that these classes.
She felt so bad about it. It's okay. Look at my face. I got jacked up this morning.
Oh, I thought you were going to try to blame that on her.
No,
I was like, oh,
you
no.
did that to me. You did that. Man, I had some great rolls this morning. It was so awesome. I got to roll with Eric today.
Oh, nice.
Man, that guy's a freaking monster.
Yeah.
He's got arms that are like this freaking long and legs that are this long. And he's
he
big and strong, and it's great. He kicked my butt all over the place. It was awesome.
Thanks. Can I have some more?
I don't know if he's the one that jacked up my face or not, but good. Oh yeah, Janet. I forgot Janet was there.
Yeah.
So those we'll be doing those here soon.
September 29th is the first one, I think.
GOP
September
26th. Okay, that's
And-
come eat breakfast with us at Uncle Bill's on Manchester. You don't have to have gravy over pancakes, but you should try it because it's delicious.
It's so good.
And then this Saturday, just a few days from now, Customer Appreciation Day, come out, hang out. It's going to be a big party. All sorts of stuff's going to be on sale. We're going to have reps here. She's going to be in the dunk tank. I'm going to be in the dunk tank. We got some free classes that we're doing.
Simulator.
GOA will be here, Gun Owners of America.
Free
Go
lanes.
compete against Vinny in the sim.
Free food, free lanes, swag. It's a party.
It is. And it's
for
really
you.
what it is. It's a party, right? It's we just want to. And we have Hawaiian shirts on sale. You got to buy one of the Hawaiian shirts. You get to save $10 on a shirt if you buy it up into Customer Appreciation Day. After Customer Appreciation Day, $10 more.
I should have brought the patches out.
Oh man.
Lady Sentinel has patches
Yeah,
now.
Lady Sentinel has patches now, and they're freaking awesome.
Glow in the dark.
It's very cool. So anyway, that's all our stuff.
I'll sing in the dunk tank while you're
Underwater.
attempting to throw the ball.
Underwater.
If I
So
can get the
nobody can
whole
hear
song
you.
out.
So nobody can hear you. Okay.
Noise travels faster and better in water, doesn't it?
It does, but our ears can't hear it.
Oh, lucky you.
Yeah. It is more because there's more media there, so it does travel faster, which is why you can't tell direction underwater because it hits your ears so close together. In the air, your ears can tell that the sound hit this side first before it hit this side. In your case, it goes right through. But regardless,
Jerk.
there's your science lesson for the day.
That was kind of cool, even though you're jerking it, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
I'm
That's okay. I'm
just kinda cool
I'll
like that.
sacrifice for you guys' education.
You guys, if you need something, come see us, 14803 Manchester Road in beautiful Baldwin, Missouri. It is a freaking gorgeous morning. Put the phone down, hit the button. Well, let us end it first.
Yeah.
Then you can put your phone down and go walk outside. Go to Castlewood, go to Greensfelder, go somewhere, do stuff, places. Oh, I thought Chris was getting ready to like
Tell us about
throw something at us
Yeah.
or something. I don't know. He came out with this look like I want to dump a bag on your head.
What you got, Chris?
No, I have an empty bag.
Oh.
An empty bag.
What are we gonna fill that up with, Chris?
Tickets.
From what?
For bringing in stuff for Forces for Food.
Jackpot.
So bring stuff in for Forces for Food. We got a
Doesn't
CR
have to be food.
Yeah, anything that runs the household.
Not expired.
Not expired. Yeah, don't be a freaking jerk.
What he said.
And don't take it.
And for
And
whoever it was that broke in and snatched up 2 of the sodas out of there, we're gonna find you and we're gonna like.
And that's not the first time. We have a table over there of donations.
Last time it was cake mix.
We're
and
we're an
people-
eternal drop-off spot for Forces for Food. So if you've ever got extra stuff that you just need to find something good to do with it, bring it in, drop it off. We're in constant contact with Linda, so as soon as we get enough stuff to make it worth her drive out, she comes out and picks all that stuff up. We run multiple drives per year for her. We're doing it again for Customer Appreciation Day. The woman is amazing. She's never taken a dime from this thing. She does it completely as a volunteer. Nobody pays for anything for them. They're doing a trivia night coming up pretty soon, so you'll hear us bragging about that to sign up for that and stuff. But anyway, bring in stuff, get tickets, and then win a CR920 from Shadow System.
Woo!
So awesomeness.
2 employees get to enter. Okay,
Yes,
I won't.
you can totally,
You can totally enter. You can enter. You just can't
Like,
win.
donate stuff.
Yeah.
We're like, we'll
I'll
all
donate.
donate
We'll
stuff.
put your ticket in there, and then when we
Yep.
pull your name, you're like, ha ha,
You're like,
you don't get it.
You get to pick somebody
Yeah.
to win it.
Okay.
And then we'll let you pick.
Okay. Okay.
All
That's
right,
fine.
done.
Thanks, Chris. Okay,
All
we
right.
gotta go.
10 to 8, Monday through Friday, Saturday 9 to 6, Sunday 10 to 6. Bring in all your food and toothpaste and stuff and things and non-perishable household goods and items. So I'm just going to keep rambling and using my hands. Just freaking do it.
Knife hands. Okay.
Are you going to hit the button or are you just
Toodles.
going to stand there?
We got an awkward pause.
Awkward.